Hi there, this is David, and I have some new RPG news for you. Some really exciting stuff about some new games, about the Final Fantasy IX animated series, as well as the remake, and some Wild Arms news as well. So let's jump right into this. A couple of days ago, I read this article right here, and it says that Furyu launches Project Try countdown website. And it's going to be a new RPG for the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 4, and the Switch. And we didn't really know much about this Project Try. It did give a couple of things about it, about who it's going to be designed by, and who is going to be working on it. So the people who are designing the world also designed the world of Trials of Mana and Chrono Cross. The character designer designed the characters of Xenoblade and Puzzle and Dungeons. The scenario designer designed the scenarios for Octopath Traveler as well as Bravely Default 2. The music is by the composer of Secret and Trials of Mana. So we have some really big name developers behind this mysterious 90s RPG. It says here, it's a revival of a 90s era RPG classics for the modern age. Nostalgic and moving for the adults today who were children back then, and the straight fun for the children of today, playable by yourself or with everyone. So it's a multiplayer RPG. To me, the way that this article made it sound was that it was going to be Secret of Mana meets Xenoblade, and I was here for it. I was looking at this, I was thinking it was going to be great. This is the story synopsis: that the gods of order and the gods of chaos fought for control of the world. Great weapons fell to the land. Each god chose a proxy, a warrior of the gods, and then, decided that the winner would be determined by the battle between the warriors. Time passed. Cyan, a young man in a quiet life in a village, learned that he's the warrior of chaos, and he's going to fight against his cruel fate right there. And it was kind of all mysterious. We didn't really know much about it, except that now we do. They have launched a countdown website. Right here, it's all in Japanese, it's kind of hidden. The title of it is hidden. You can't really tell much at all from this, it's all confidential. Except, it's not! It's been leaked by Gamatsu. The game is called Trinity Trigger. So it will be launching on September 15th in Japan. We do not know when it's going to be launched in America, though. So that's rather unfortunate. So it does say, the same kind of story that we saw earlier. The gods of order, the gods of chaos, we have all of that. Now let's go into some key features that were leaked. We have a classic isometric action for the modern age. We have discovery in battle, where you can switch between a total of 8 weapon types using a ring change system. That sounds so much like Secret of Mana to me. It is ridiculous. I am excited. I love Secret of Mana. Every time that somebody tells me about an action RPG, the first game that I go back to and the first game that I compare any action RPG to is Secret of Mana. I know it was released a long time ago, but to me, that is just the pinnacle of action RPGs. It is the quintessential action RPG, and I remember somebody was talking about Scarlet Nexus to me a couple of years ago, and I said, is it kind of like Secret of Mana? Because that's what I always go back to. It says, enjoy a battle style all your own, putting together your own combos, weapon upgrades, and effects. Discovery on the field. Now we're getting into more Xenoblade type things, with more than 60 area maps, including lush forests with glowing mushrooms, snowy mountains, deserts, ice, and fire, numerous treasure chests, cuttable weeds, breakable rocks, and paths not obvious at first sight. The dungeon exploration offers an endless sense of discovery, and you will be traveling each map on a non-linear path, and there's also discovery in towns. So that sounds like Xenoblade, discovery points, as well as Secret of Mana, using the weapons to kind of unlock different paths. Then we have screenshots. This looks absolutely beautiful, if I do say so myself. Screenshots in game here, as well, of the 3 little warriors. There is the ring change system for the weapons. Looks like you get some sort of little Pokemon type helper or something. The graphics to me look beautiful. This is the kind of graphics that I like. I don't like the nitty-gritty realistic graphics because I feel like while they might look good today, if you look back 10 years from now, you might think like, oh, what are they thinking? It reminds me of like PlayStation 1 graphics, where whenever that system first came out, everybody was like, oh, these graphics look great! I never thought that they did. I always thought that SNES graphics looked great. And now people look back and they're like, ooh, they're so ugly, they're so gross. And, I always thought that they were. But these graphics are timeless. Look at them. Absolutely timeless. These will never go old. This is great. This looks fantastic. I am hoping that we get an announcement of a Western release date. So yeah, I am definitely looking forward to this. So September 15th in Japan, hopefully not too long after for the West. Next, the Final Fantasy IX animated series is going to be revealed this week in my hometown, in Las Vegas at the Licensing Expo. So we did know about this animated series that was going to be coming out, and there's this little video right here, because we heard about this quite a bit ago. I think that we heard about this like last year. It says right here, the Final Fantasy IX series was revealed in June of last year, with an episode count and length still unconfirmed by either Cyber Group Studios or Square Enix. So we did know about this for quite some time. We're going to learn some more about this in the upcoming days as well. Now, something else that I want to talk about here. Do you remember also about last year, there was that massive leak, and I made a video about that too. There was that GeForce Now leak, talking about thousands of different games that were going to be released, and I pulled up this article from 8 months ago talking about that leak. And I remember saying, hey, take this with a grain of salt, it's just a leak, you don't really know, but everything in that leak has thus far come true. We got our Chrono Cross remaster, and it says that we're getting a Final Fantasy Tactics remaster. And with Live Alive coming up, and with all these HD 2D remakes, as well as the Dragon Quest trilogy getting a remake in HD 2D style, it would not surprise me if Final Fantasy Tactics got its remaster. But with this upcoming anime of Final Fantasy IX coming out, Final Fantasy IX is not getting a remaster, it is getting an entire remake. So that has not yet been announced, but we know that it was leaked quite some time ago, so do look forward to that. I definitely am. Final Fantasy IX is my favorite, bar none, in the entire series. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, the last thing that I want to talk about, is trophies. I am not a trophy hunter. I don't do trophies, but this is exciting because with this trophy list that was just revealed as on PlayStation Plus, they said, hey, there's going to be trophies for the very first Wild Arms game. And that's exciting because Wild Arms wasn't even available on the service. It says that final one hasn't been confirmed for the service. So it's another PlayStation 1 game that is now added to the list. So with Wild Arms getting a trophy list, we now know that it is going to be available for the PlayStation Plus service, so that you guys can now download that. And this is the first Wild Arms game, which is one of my favorites in the series. I do think it's better than Wild Arms 2 as well as Wild Arms 3. I kind of wish that it was for that remake, Wild Arms Alter Code F for the PS2, but this game has a charm of its own as well. So if you were never able to get a hold of the very first Wild Arms, maybe now you can, and maybe, and hopefully, with this resurgence of turn-based JRPGs and classic 2D JRPGs, this might be a sign by Sony by saying, hey, you know what? If Wild Arms does well on the PlayStation Plus service, maybe we'll come out with another Wild Arms game. Maybe we'll continue that series, because it's been dead in the water since the PlayStation 2 era. But nowadays, they're reviving all these old series. Hopefully they go back and they look into this classic game as well. Hope you guys are excited about all of this new RPG news like I am. I am thrilled about it all, especially that Trinity project, or Trinity Trigger. I am thrilled about that. That looks right up my alley. What are you guys most excited about? Let me know in the comments, and as always, have a good day.